Good evening, everybody. It's John Wayne Mullins, and hope you're having a great day. I know I certainly have. Um, wow, where do I start? It's been a great day. From working on a new workshop with a new team and company to selling out for the Hampton Roads Leadership Prayer Breakfast. For those of you who don't know, I'm the treasurer on the Hampton Roads Leadership Prayer Breakfast, and we sold out next week. We're a week away from the 46th annual prayer breakfast, and we sold out. We have over 700 people coming to this event next week, and I can't be more excited that I was able to turn it off today. So, and wow, it's a great day. And also, today is also a big day for all of my fellow Marine Corps. It's your birthday, 246th. Happy birthday, Semper Fi. I love you guys and gals, and hope you're having a great day. Tomorrow's also Veterans Day, and I'll be talking a little bit about that before I close off. Today, I want to talk about, kind of continue the conversation from what we were talking about last night with, who are you becoming? Who are you becoming is such a great question, especially if you're a new dad or you're in this new leadership position or you're about to become a new dad. Who are you becoming? That is such a great question. I think that it's kind of like my starting point is, who are you becoming? Who do you want to be? What kind of dad do you want to become? I heard someone say on a podcast when they were thinking about new dads and becoming a dad, they said, they had to answer the question, what do I want my kids to tell about me at their wedding or when they graduate? Or what do I want them to say about me and my influence, my dadhood, my being a dad? What do you want them to say? What kind of influence do you want to have? What kind of impact? What kind of love? What kind of relationship? All those things matter in how you answer that question of who are you becoming? Because I think the more, and I said this last night, the more clear you are about that, the more and more intentional you are about becoming that person, you're going to become it. So tonight, I want to kind of go on step 2 about that. Once you've answered that question, is how well do you know yourself? How well do you really know yourself? How well do you know your strengths, your weaknesses? For those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of Gallup Strengths. You really can't see the book. There it is. What this book does is it helps you identify what your natural talents are, what you are naturally good at. And then by practicing those, they help you identify what your strengths are. And so by knowing these things about yourself and how well do you know yourself, I really want you all to think about, especially those new dads, is how well do you know yourself? How well do you know what your strengths and weaknesses are, your opportunities, your interests? What are you bringing into this role as a new dad? And these are all things that I was asked. These are all things that I thought about. When I go back and read through my journal, I think about the things that I was carrying into my role as a dad. Like, what was I bringing in? What behaviors? What limiting beliefs? What thoughts? What habits? And we all have habits. We all have sin in our life. We all have thoughts in our life. We all have things that we don't want to carry on. Do you know what those are? And are you working on them? Do you know where you currently are with where you want to be, 5, 10, even a year from now, as a dad? What does that guy look like? What does that man look like? What is he doing? How is he showing up? How is he, serving his family, serving his wife, serving his kids? How much of a role model is he being? And what are you doing? What I think the more clear you are about that and knowing yourself, it really kind of gives you a sense of direction of, hey, for the next year, I really want to work on this, or I realize that I curse a lot, or I realize that I'm addicted to my phone and I know I need to put it down when I'm holding my son or daughter, or I know that, I have some bad habits or some bad drinking habits. I want to give those up. Those are all great things to know about yourself as you become a dad, because it's going to give you direction. So as you do become that dad, you're going to be you're going to be you're going to have that plan. You're going to have that dream, that vision, that goal of, this is where I want to go. This is where I'm going. And the more that you focus on those things, then you're going to become more and more intentional about accomplishing those, because it's not about a goal, it's about growth, like we talked about last night. And um, I believe that when you are intentional about doing those and taking those steps of action and going down those paths, when you do that, opportunities come that are going to make you even better as a man, as a dad. And so, I mean, just like with what I'm learning right now with this, with the being the treasurer of the prayer breakfast board. I joined this 4 years ago because I went to it and I was just like, wow, I want to be around these people. I was uplifted. I was just looking for that group of people that I wanted to devote and volunteer my time with. And here, 4 years later, I'm now the treasurer of the board, and we have our sold out event a week before it even starts. But the more important thing is, I have friends, I have mentors, I have close people that I have connected with that have just poured into me and my in the areas that I was trying to develop in and grow in. And so now when I became a dad this year, it was just like, they immediately were pouring right back into me. And so another thing that I wanted to say is that why this is so important is, again, I am not an expert, but I am an expert on leadership. I am an expert on personal growth, and I know how to put these things into practice. And I'm still learning how to do that. I mean, I have a 7-month-old. I am not one to talk when it comes to giving parent advice, because I'm still learning how to do that. But what I do want to encourage you, and I would do where I feel like I am qualified to speak to those men, those of you who are either fathers or are about to become fathers, is that I can speak into those areas of knowing how to grow yourself and knowing how to grow that future dad, that future self. I know how to get there, because it's something that it's, leadership is influence, and you can apply it in any way, shape, or form. And if you apply these principles in any area of your life, you will reach your fullest potential. But it really starts with knowing where you are, which I believe that's your current self. Like, knowing your habits, knowing your limiting beliefs, knowing what you are carrying into this relationship, knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, your interests, your opportunities, knowing what you want to bring in, and then knowing where you want to be, whether that's in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Because if you don't know those things, you're liable to get lost and begin to wander when life gets hard, because you have no light, you have no destination, you have no lighthouse that you're focused on. It's like, hey, this is who I'm trying to become, and this is who I'm trying to, not become. This is like my old self that I'm trying to get away from. So I certainly hope that's helpful. As I think about the growth process, it's something that it's hard work, guys, but it pays off, because you're developing yourself, you're pouring into your marriage, you're pouring into your life, you're pouring into your kids, and that's awesome. Why wouldn't you want to do it? So anyway, I hope you, again, two things. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. I'm still in the reserves. I've been in for 22 years, and Veterans Day is something that I cherish. It's something that I honor. When I lived in DC, I would always go down to the wall and just talk to people, talk to men and women, hear their story, because they want to share their story. So that's my encouragement to you. Tomorrow, when you see a veteran, or if you're not really sure what to say, or Thank you for your service. Ask them, where did they serve? What did they like about their service? Or what's a story? Because I'll tell you, every time I ask them, tell me a story about when you served, or where you were, or where were you assigned, or what ship were you on. These men and women light up and they want to share their story. So don't be afraid to ask those questions, and spend 5 minutes with them. Have a cup of coffee with them. Or I met so many great men and women when I lived in DC, because I would do that every year, and I got they appreciate it, and they want, like I said, they want to share their story. Second thing, this Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern time, I'm doing another webinar, Mr. New Dad, with Ben Killoy. It's going to be great. We're going to be talking about the self-care, kind of leading, continuing this conversation of what I've been talking about this week. But we're talking about how to not lose yourself as you become a dad, and how to not lose yourself as you raise your kids. It's something that he's a few years down the road from me, and I'm just getting started. But again, I'm willing to have these conversations, and I want to bring these people in because it's something that I've seen. I'm 39. I'm just having my first child, and it's something that I've seen a lot of dads struggle with, is they lose themselves. And so we want to talk about that and share some different tips with what works, ways that you can avoid that, and continue to be the awesome dad that you are. So I hope you can join us. It's going to be on LinkedIn. It's going to be on my LinkedIn event. So you have to register on my LinkedIn profile. But until tomorrow, have an awesome, great Veterans Day. And remember, don't be afraid to ask and hear the story of the veterans, because there's some great ones out there. So have a great Veterans Day. God bless, and happy birthday, Marines. Take care.